Oh hey, didn't see you there. What's going on everyone? Today's video is going to focus on a topic that I'm really excited to talk about, and that is the spawn areas in the PvP Crucible map known as Shores of Time in the Control game mode. The goal of this video is to go over the basics of spawning mechanics in Destiny, show you the major spawn points on Shores of Time, and give you a brief description and example about how your newfound knowledge can help you make smarter and more effective decisions to help your team become victorious. Now, let's start with a brief overview about how the spawning mechanisms work in Destiny. Where you spawn on the map after a death is completely determined by something we are going to call spawn influence. There are many things that contribute to spawn influence, such as the control objectives a team has, the overall distribution of your team across the map, and even small factors such as the direction an individual player is looking, shooting, throwing a grenade, or simply using a super ability. Most importantly, however, spawn influence is an always changing algorithm the game tries to calculate in order to give you and your team the safest and most practical spawns in order to prevent you from spawning behind enemy lines unless it is necessitated, and allowing you to more times than not spawn with your team in front of you. Now, the most important thing to remember is that while there are many factors that contribute to how spawn influence is calculated, there are many cues on the map you have access to that can give you a very good idea of where your enemies will spawn. The next topic to cover are the major spawn areas in Shores of Time. There are 6 total spawns in Control, but remember, the specific spawn points are not limited to specific locations, but rather specific areas. The first spawn point I'm going to bring up is the spawn point directly in the A control room. The second spawn point is what I call A pillars or ruins, which is directly left to the A spawn if you are looking towards the center of the map. The third spawn is commonly confused with the previous one, and that is what I would call B spawn or down B, because depending on the spawn influence factors, you could be spawned in close proximity to B or, more rarely, directly on the B control point. The fourth spawn is the C stairs spawn point. The reason I call it that is because you literally spawn near the C control point and near the staircase. The fifth spawn point is C rock, again, meaning that you spawn near the C control point in the vicinity of the iconic sniper rock that many set up camp at to defend the B and C control points. The sixth and the final spawn area is the tunnel that runs between C and A. Now that you have all of that information, let's talk about how you can make effective and calculated decisions based on where you spawn. Say you have control points C and B. There are 2 safety spawns your team has, C rock and C stairs, as long as the enemy does not push into the back area and slay your team out. The other 2 mid spawns, down B and tunnel spawn, are predominantly determined by the distribution of players on your team and your enemy team. For example, say your team overextends the B control point, blocking the A pillar spawn, and that the enemy team overextends the tunnels, blocking your C rock spawn. Depending on their movements and how far back the enemy team pushes, you have the chance of spawning at either the C stairs or the down B spawn points. This is a brief example of how a team's rotation, control points held, and overall gunfights can impact spawns. Honestly, this is a topic that I could make a whole video about separately, but with my immensely limited programming and map construction skills, and with how hard it is to actually stage such a test due to the lack of custom lobbies, I can only easily record gameplays, explain spawns and why certain ones occur, and give my recommendations based on this knowledge. So, without further ado, my recommendations in terms of spawns and control points you want are as followed. You want to control the C and B control points and have the C rock and C stairs spawn. The reason is that these spawns give you predominant control over B and complete control over C. From the C rock spawn and C stairs, you have control over 2 out of the 3 access points to the B control point, leaving the enemy team to have to both push through the middle cave and attack via the B jump up, both of which are areas your team has a significant advantage on. With these 2 controlled points and without overextension, you can control the enemy team to stay within the A control and the A pillars spawn point. As a summary of my suggestions, or as some people would like to say, the last word, the C spawn gives you better access to and a better advantage over points C and B, whereas it is significantly harder to defend B while in control of A. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hoped this helped to give you a better perspective into the important mechanics known as the spawning system on Shores of Time. Please let me know what your thoughts are, if you believe the map should be controlled differently, or how you prefer to play the map. I worked really hard on this video and appreciate any kind of support, criticism, or feedback you might have to give me. With that being said, please feel free to give this video a like, a dislike, or a thorough comment. Finally, if you like what you are seeing from my channel or want to see more of this from other maps, be sure to let me know and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, I hope to see you out on the battlefield, Guardians. Ignite out.
Zone B lost. Zone C secure. More efforts like that, and we